wanted to try the Whole30 diet, although they don't like you to call it a diet plan. So here is the Whole30 right here. And what this is, it's a diet, really is a diet plan that you follow for 30 days. That's it, 30 days. And they say it's not a diet. What it's supposed to do is allow you to figure out what foods are causing you issues. It could be inflammation, low-grade inflammation, and that's why you don't know if it's bad for you or not, because if it's just chronic low-grade inflammation, how would you really know if that knee pain was caused by something you were eating, which is maybe sugar, maybe you eat candy every day. So by eliminating certain foods from your diet for a whole 30 days and reintroducing them after the 30 days, one food every 3 days, it would allow you to determine if that food was actually the one giving you a headache or a stomach ache or whatever. So I thought that was really interesting, and so I wanted to try it. So I bought the book, as you can see, and it's hard for me because I like to have treats, and sometimes I'll have Skittles, and sometimes I'll have a sip of alcohol here and there, but you can't cheat for a whole 30 days. And I thought, oh my gosh, how am I gonna do this? But surprisingly enough, I did it. And apparently, I guess it really works if you know the end date and it's only a short period of time, and you have to start over. If you have that sip of alcohol, no one wants to start over. So the foods that are not allowed on the Whole30 diet for the 30-day duration: no sugar at all. You can't even have sugar substitutes, so no stevia either. So that's really hard if you think you're making a tomato sauce, you can't add sugar in it. That's really yucky and bitter. No alcohol, not even a sip. Like I said before, if you have a sip, you have to start over. So that's probably the toughest one for most people. You can't even eat grains. So no rice, no quinoa, no pasta. Pasta's wheat, so that's tough for a lot of, no bread, people who love that kind of stuff. No peanuts either, and no soy, no beans, and no dairy. That means no cheese and no yogurt, and that's tough, huh? For 30 days, you can't have any of those foods, so you could see why it's kind of a challenge, and a lot of people say, can't eat any of that, but again, it's only for 30 days. So let me take you on my journey. I'm just going to sum it up for you and let you know how I did and how I felt. I kept a little journal on how I felt and why I started it. And the reason why I started the Whole30 diet is because I have an injury, shoulder injury, and I thought, well, if there's any way for me to have my shoulder heal faster, that would be great. And if I could lose a few pounds, I mean, who doesn't want to lose a few pounds? So that's why I started the plan. So the only type of nuts and seeds that are not allowed on this Whole30 diet is peanuts. But I thought, well, how do I know that nuts in general aren't bothering me as well, or maybe seeds? So I actually made the plan a little even harder on myself. So I didn't allow myself to eat any nuts or any seeds for the whole 30 days, and that is the hardest for me because that's always been my go-to for snacks, is nuts. So I eliminated that too, which was so hard because they have recipes in the book that have like salads with peanut dressing and other dishes with nuts. So I made it harder on myself, and it was even more of a challenge. So the Whole30 plan comes with a whole bunch of recipes. Like they've got Southwest scrambled eggs, they've got spinach frittata, they've got sausages and fries, they've got salmon benedict, they've got a whole lot of meat dishes like chimichurri beef kebabs, which are pretty good. But a lot of these dishes, they have so much oil in it, and I try not to eat a lot of oil. It has a lot of calories. It's just not good for us. And they encourage it. They say basically 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil in a dish is fine. I think they even said a meal. That's just ridiculous. That's way too many calories. I mean, that's just unhealthy. But a lot of the dishes had a lot of high-fat meats in it, so I swapped some of them out for lower-fat meats, like instead of chicken thighs, I used chicken breast. So some of the recipes weren't that good because I swapped out the fatty meat for leaner meat. But a lot of the recipes in here are just, they just had really strange combinations of flavors. They've got like, I'll try to find a couple for you, but I was very disappointed in the recipes. There's only a few that were really good, and my husband's not that picky, and he even said no more of those recipes. They're just weird. So, and I don't like eating high-fat meats. It just gives me a stomach ache, and you know, I don't want to gain weight on a diet. That's just, so I thought it was important to let you know how I felt and how I was doing while I was on the diet, to see if that's maybe something that you want to do. So on day 4, I had problems going to the bathroom. I'm used to eating grains like oats every single day. A lot of fibrous foods that I eat are, you know, they have grains. I have, you know, just beans. No beans on the diet. Beans are really high in fiber. So when I removed those foods from my diet, it was not good. So I actually had to buy fiber from the store, which was really disgusting. But so that was after only 4 days of feeling really good. So I just ended up going to the store and just buying a lot more salads and a lot more broccoli and adding a lot more of that on my own to the dishes. After 15 days on the diet, we went to Trader Joe's, and who just doesn't just love Trader Joe's? But they had this little sample. It was like some sort of hemp seed, and I was like, oh gosh, I really want to try it, but I'm not going to have any nuts. But I was thinking, well, you know, they allow seeds. They allow seeds. But then I looked at the ingredients, and it had agave. Well, agave is a sweetener. They don't allow any sweeteners. No agave, no maple syrup, not even honey. So I couldn't even try the darn sample. And I was so mad. I'm actually still upset. That was a couple months ago. But yeah, I wanted that free sample. I couldn't even taste it. So I had my husband taste it for me and describe it. That was on day 15. I was getting frustrated. On the very next day, on day 16, I made myself a smoothie. And they say smoothies aren't allowed, but I'm sorry, that's just stupid, because it replicates something sweet. Well, fruit's sweet. I really think that's dumb. I mean, if you're putting something like coconut milk and fruit together and protein, that's a meal. So it wasn't sweet enough. So I wanted to add some like sweetener to it, but they said no, so it kind of made me even grumpier. I really love sweet things. Yeah, I've got a sweet tooth. And so then the following day, I really wanted to bake, and I do have a sweet tooth, and so, but I don't just like eating snacks. I like baking them too. So I made 18 cookies, and it was peanut butter cookies. And so I just gave them to my husband and my friends, and they all ate them. And so I just wanted to taste though, and I was good. I didn't even taste it, but I didn't even know what it tasted like. Like I was afraid, like what if it doesn't taste good? So, but I did hold out. So I'm kind of proud of myself. On day 25, it was almost at the end. At the end, it just kind of like, oh my goodness! It just every single day it was like the countdown. I wanted to make another like sweet thing. I found this granola recipe, and it sounded amazing, so I made it, and I just gave it to people at the yoga class, and I was like, how is it? They're like, what, did you try? No. I'm on this Whole30 thing, so that was kind of a bummer too. Day 26, I was even more frustrated. I really wanted chocolate. I love chocolate. It just sucks when you can't even have just a little bite of something. And I couldn't go out to eat, because if you go out to eat, there's just a really high likelihood they're going to put some sugar in it or put something in it that's not allowed on the plan, and I sure as heck was not going to start over when I was already on day 26. So I had to tell everybody, no, I can't go out to lunch or dinner with you. I can't. I'm boring. So that was really annoying. I thought it's kind of ridiculous. But anyways, so I knew it was toward the end, and I was a little annoyed on day 26 that I didn't lose any weight. I know they say it's not a weight loss plan, but people do lose weight on that diet, and my body fat didn't change at all. So we know that weight loss and body fat, when the body fat percentage goes down, those two may not correlate, but my clothes were fitting the same, so I was kind of bummed. All right, but yay, and I did finish the diet after 30 days. Again, my weight stayed exactly the same. I didn't lose weight, I didn't gain weight, and good thing I didn't eat all those fatty recipes in that book, because I definitely would have gained weight, and then I would have been really angry. Yay, done with the diet, but then there's the reintroduction phase. I can't just eat all the things all at once, because it'll wreck it. So you have to eat one food once every 3 days. So I had this list of the things that I wanted to reintroduce: almonds, walnuts, cashews, because remember, I eliminated all nuts from my diet too. These spinach pancakes, I just love them. They're fried, and you can't, oh, did I say that too? You can't have processed oils like canola oil, any vegetable oils. You can only have like coconut oil and ghee. So, and the spinach pancakes that I like, they're in the freezer section of the store. So I had to wait, so I wanted to try those. Of course, I was going to reintroduce peanuts, honey, my favorite, maple syrup. I wanted to add the monk fruit, and I really wanted Swedish fish because I love them. And then I wanted my toasted oat recipe, and try oatmeal, even though I hate oatmeal. Quinoa, chickpeas, which are beans, and my favorite quinoa pasta, and sriracha sauce, because sriracha sauce has sugar in it, and I just love that on my Asian dishes. So on my first reintroduction day, I was so hungry for a snack. I had a coconut Larabar and at house, and that's a vegan, like a nut bar, and it has cashews and almonds, but I felt uncomfortably full after that, and so I don't know if it was bloating or what, so I thought, well gosh, maybe it's the nuts, I said, but it had 2 types of nuts in it. It had cashews and almonds, so that's the problem with that, is that I didn't know what was bothering me, if it was the cashews or if it was almonds or if it was both. So that's why you reintroduce one thing at a time. So that's why you introduce cashews one day, and then maybe take 3 days later do another type of food, but not a nut, and maybe take a week off with nuts, and then a couple days later I still wanted peanuts. I know I was supposed to wait, but anyways, I waited a couple days. I did peanuts, and then I had peanut butter in my smoothie later that day, because you can have the same, like I can have peanuts and peanut butter and like a peanut spread if it's all in one day, and I felt totally fine. I'm like thinking, why did I avoid the peanuts in their dish? But I guess, it's got mold in it and some people react to it, but I was totally fine, so I was like, yay, because I love peanuts. A couple days later, I had some chicharrones. I know. Those are totally unhealthy. They're fried pork skins, but I didn't buy them. They're just in the house, so I had a couple. I had my stomach was hurting after it. It's because they're really greasy, but I think it's just because I ate too many. So, and then a couple days later, I had an Asian veggie roll at a Japanese restaurant. So, but then again, I should have made it at home, because I wasn't sure. I had stomachache, so I wasn't sure what it was. Is it the soy, or was it the rice? So I was thinking, oh gosh. So now I wasn't sure. Was it cashews, almonds, soy, and rice? So I had to like reintroduce those foods in a different, different day and separate from each other to see what the culprit really was for my stomach ache. And so a couple days later, I had 2 roasted almonds. I got immediate stomach ache. So I thought, gosh, maybe it really is almonds. So I thought I'll try it again a couple weeks down the line to see if it is, because nuts can go bad. So a couple days later, I tried my favorite dish. It's a miso glazed salmon. And miso is from soy. And remember, I had soy sauce at the Japanese restaurant. Well, my miso salmon dish didn't bother me at all. I actually felt great from it, but my miso is non-GMO, is organic, and I'm sure the soy sauce I got from the Japanese restaurant, I know it wasn't organic, so it had to be GMO soy, which is obviously very, very bad. A couple days later, I had, because I was sweet tooth, a cinnamon sugar gummy bear. Oh my gosh, yum! But I had no issues, and I thought, well, gosh, I'm eating sugar. Sugar causes inflammation. It's bad. We all know that. But the gummy bear was fine, but the almonds weren't, which I thought was really, really bizarre. A couple days later, I tried my toasted oats with blueberries. Totally fine, so I was really happy about that. A couple days later, I put maple syrup in an Asian vinaigrette. I use sweeteners instead of oils if I can, just a little bit, so I don't have to use so much oil. It saves a lot of calories. And I was fine, and it didn't cause me to want any candy or anything more by adding a little bit of sweetener to my vinaigrette. So I was happy about that. Okay, and then I added a couple days later, I tried 1 teaspoon of sesame, actually tahini, which is ground sesame seeds, in my smoothie, and I was totally fine, so I was like, yay. Okay, and then a couple days later, I had a stir fry with corn, and corn, they said was a no-no, you couldn't have corn, and later that night I had popcorn, so I was fine, so I was really happy. And the next day, I know I'm supposed to wait every 3 days, but I'm human. It had a broccoli stir fry with chickpeas, which are beans, and remember, beans you can have on that diet, no legumes at all. My stomach was fine, and I didn't even have probiotics, which I thought was shocking. And then the next day, I made salmon with orange segments and white rice. So remember, the Japanese restaurant had the white rice, and it bothered me. I was fine. I felt fine. I didn't like the rice. It wasn't as good as the Japanese rice, but it was totally fine. And then a couple days later, I've been craving vegan dishes, because all these dishes, they're all meat-centric dishes, and so I couldn't have any vegan dishes, except for like a salad. So I made a stew with lentils, stewed in red wine. So remember, alcohol was a no-no, with vegetables, and I stewed it. So shush, kitty. But cooking reduces the alcohol, so by the time the meal was done, simmering for a while, there's not a whole lot of alcohol. But yeah, I felt great. I felt super healthy. And actually, after a couple weeks of reintroducing my favorite foods, the grains and everything, I lost a pound. So I didn't lose any weight on their plan, but I lost a pound by eating my favorite foods. And then I thought about the almonds, and I thought, I had the bag of almonds for a while, and I had that Lara bar, a while. So I went to the store and I ate a couple almonds, right, fresh from the bin. And I felt fine. So what it was is those almonds that I had were spoiled, and nuts do spoil very quickly. So, but the end result is I don't have an issue with any of those foods except for GMO soy, and I don't eat wheat, so I didn't reintroduce wheat. Actually, I did have a little bit of it, but I know that wheat bothers me in large quantities, and it doesn't bother me in small quantities. So, yeah, it wasn't a waste for me, because now I know I can eat all those things, and I don't have to wonder anymore. And that's what's really nice, is that I can eat something and say, yeah, that doesn't bother me, because I know, because I tried it. People should definitely try the Whole30 diet for the 30 days and do the reintroduction plan the way they tell you how to do it, just to find out if something is bothering you, and you can see maybe that food is causing your migraines or that stomach ache or joint pain or whatever it might be. Then you know what foods you really should be avoiding instead of just guessing. But I wouldn't do the diet permanently. There's a lot of problems with it, and what's good about it is that it's you're not eating dairy, no sugar, no wheat, no gluten, no vegetable oil, no fake sugars. So that's actually good. I think that's a good idea for most people to avoid or eliminate those foods. What I don't like is if you're going to do it permanently, if greens, if grains or beans don't bother you, there's no reason to eliminate them. They have a lot of fiber, they have protein, they're really good good sources of vitamins and minerals and protein. What's really dumb is that you have to have animal meat in the Whole30 plan, and you should not be eating a lot of animal meat, especially the high-fat animal meat that they have in there. Because it's high fat, high cholesterol. That's not good for anyone. They also suggest using a lot of oil. Talked about that earlier. That's not good for you either. What I think is what I also didn't like about it. It has 3 meals a day. So 3 huge meals a day, even 3 small meals a day. That's not normal. People don't eat like that. People have breakfast. They have a snack before lunch, and they eat the lunch, and they usually eat a snack between lunch and dinner, because that's a long span of time. There's no reason why you can't have a little snack between that time. And some people even have a snack after dinner. That's probably the one that's unnecessary. So 5 meals a day is normal and healthy. You should have smaller meals throughout the day. That's actually what keeps you from overeating and helps prevent cravings. So I don't like the whole 3 meals a day thing at all. And actually in this one section it says you can eat 5 eggs a day. Please don't do that. You can have 5 egg whites a day, but whole eggs, the yolk contains a lot of cholesterol. Eggs do have quite a bit of calories, so I think that's a horrible thing. And of course, one thing which they said is they don't recommend grains or beans because due to phytates, and the phytates it protects the grain or the bean, and it supposedly causes inflammation in our body and removes some of our minerals. It takes the minerals out of our bodies. So, but why are they saying go ahead and eat nuts? Nuts have a lot of phytates. They also didn't say to soak the nuts. So if you soak nuts or grains, you actually remove quite a bit of the phytates, but they didn't mention that at all. So there's definitely issues with that, but I think it's great to try it and see how you react to the foods once you reintroduce them. And yeah, check it out, try it. I just bought the book on Amazon.